Since I forgot to mention this in the video before, this is a there will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen Iron Man or Iron Man 2, don't watch this, watch them, then come back. Just a quick warning. Hey guys, what's going on? Talking Flicks here, and look, no bottom thing here. Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna change pretty soon, but am I recording? I am recording, that's great. um, but yeah, we're doing a very different video today here. We are doing a versus battle between two films I've already reviewed in the MCU thus far, and those are Iron Man versus Iron Man 2. We will let them fight. We will let them battle to the death in Okay, you guys, now let's get into the meat of this versus video. I told you bottom thing would be back, and here it is. And let's freaking do this. Let's begin with the heroes in both films of Iron Man and Iron Man 2. I know they have the same heroes, but here's the thing. Iron Man, he goes through such a powerful arc. He has, he starts off as a genius billionaire playboy philanthropist, and, well, he still ends with that, but here's the thing. He gets humbled by the end. He becomes a likable character, and they put him through a very powerful and emotional arc, especially, when you see him get out of that cave, and, you see Yinsen's death, and that test scene is just so much fun, so enjoyable to see his character go through that, such a great character. But then in Iron Man 2, they do this plotline where he's dying, and he just becomes unlikable. He just starts doing stupid things, and how he treats everyone he cares about, like Rhodey and Pepper. It just doesn't work right. And so I didn't really like Tony Stark as a character in Iron Man 2. So far Iron Man's getting the edge here, but we're talking about characters, not just a main character. Let's see, Black Widow was fun, but I definitely thought she got better in future movies. I do prefer Rhodey in the first movie, at least at this point. Peppers kind of just cancel each other out. I think they're both equally good. And, I think I like Happy a bit more in Iron Man 2. I think I had a few funnier lines, but I think overall Iron Man takes this one. It's just such a powerful arc for Tony, and especially seeing how everything ends with him in Endgame, and it bookends this first movie so well. I just love what they did with this character, so that's why the score currently goes to the first Iron Man, because really it handled all of its characters very well. So now we are getting into the villains. Heck yeah. So let's start with Iron Man here. This versus Iron Man 2, and the problem with Obadiah is he goes from good to suddenly just being Yep, the clip was necessary. Okay, bottom thingy, go away. Go away. Alright, so yeah, I mean, Obadiah, he just switches from good to bad way too quickly. It feels jarring, like a jarring transition, and just doesn't work. Also, I'm rushing this because it is pre-recorded. Yeah, and, it just feels like they needed a final battle with a guy that could rival Iron Man, so it felt rushed. And then Whiplash, he felt like an underdeveloped character, not as good as he could have been. And so, all you remember about him is where's my board? I want my board. That's really all I remember about him. Yes, that's a very good impression. Just another guy in a bigger Iron Man suit, but with whips this time. That's pretty much how it ends with Whiplash. Not a very interesting character, in my opinion. They tried to do some interesting things there with tying him back to his father having a relationship with Howard Stark and everything, but did not work. But there was a good thing, and that is Justin Hammer. I thought Justin Hammer, well, not a good villain, a pretty dang good character. Not because he was particularly greatly written or anything, but he's a very entertaining, very watchable character, and really that goes down to Sam Rockwell's performance. Was so good, so entertaining, and out of all three of these characters here, only one of them is truly a good character, and that is Justin Hammer. So that's why Iron Man 2 gets the edge in this villains category here, I would say. So yeah, there we go. So it's tied at 1-1 right now. Now we're getting into the story, and I have some things to touch on here. Iron Man, pretty simple story. you know, it's nothing too special. It's an origin story at the end of the day. It's a perfect origin story for this movie. He gets taken to the cave by people that use his weapons and everything. And it's actually a really nice bookend, especially with how his character arc plays out with Endgame. Just really great there. Really loved that. Now, Iron Man 2, the story is way too overstuffed. There's too much going on everywhere. Let's go over some of the plot lines here. Tony is dying. Whiplash wants revenge. Justin Hammer is jealous. Pepper is the new CEO. They want to weaponize the Iron Man suit. Rhodey becomes War Machine. Black Widow is introduced. Nick Fury is trying to babysit Stark, among other subplots, and they're also trying to set up the Avengers in this. And so there's just too much going on in Iron Man 2, and the story really suffers for that. Jon Favreau has said it out loud in public. He wanted 3 years to make a movie, but he only got 2, and so the script deeply suffered for it, and Iron Man 2 pretty much was the sacrifice to have the rest of the MCU. And so Iron Man has a much more tight, more well-told story with it, and I just think it works perfectly for the movie. Very classic origin story, really no problems with the story at all, and especially the character arcs it gave, especially to Tony, and even, they used Rhodey in there very nicely, and just really good story for that first Iron Man. So as you can see, it's not looking very good for Iron Man 2 right now. It has some good ideas in the story, but the ideas are not the problem. The problem is how many ideas they put in. And so, well, I guess technically then the ideas would be the problem, but you know what I mean. There were good ideas, it's just too many good ideas, It feels like, somebody was walking in the hallway, then they just dropped the script, shuffled it back together. Oh yeah, this'll work, and also the pacing of the story. The pacing of the story is not good. It's too slow in some spaces and just too much going on in other spaces. It's not good. The pacing of the story is bad, too much going on, and just the movie really suffers because of the story. And Iron Man just very great story. I love the story for Iron Man. Every time I rewatch Iron Man, I like it just a teeny tiny bit more. And really, that goes down to the story, and of course, Robert Downey Jr.'s acting and everything. And can we move on from this section, please? Thank you. So yeah, score is 2-1 right now. Iron Man has the far superior story, as you can see. So now we are moving on to the action in the films. And both of them actually have really solid action with Iron Man versus Iron Man 2 here. Both of them, very good action. But, let's start Iron Man here. This cave sequence, freaking great. Love this action sequence. And then this scene here where he blows up the tank, beautiful. And he goes back to Afghanistan and everything. I believe it was Afghanistan, somewhere in the Middle East. Again, really great action sequence. But then you get to the third act here, and just, you need him to fight another guy in an Iron Man suit, or you need to have a posable threat for him, and it just doesn't look good. It doesn't hold up very well. And I mean, it's a good action sequence, it just leaves the movie on a bit of a dud. But then the action sequences in Iron Man 2, let's start with the good of these action sequences. And the good is the climax. This climax is freaking great. Love it. Love this climax here. And if it were just based off the climax, which we had the very climax, then Iron Man 2 would easily take this one. Iron Man 2's climax is the best action sequence out of both of these. But then you get to the party scene. The party scene just makes Tony come up as a way worse character, pretty much a douchebag. And just, I don't like that. I don't like that they did with Tony's character. And him fighting War Machine, it's just not likable. Or Rhodey at this point. And then you have that first one with him versus Whiplash on the racetrack, and just, the problem is, it feels like he should be dead 10 times over. Or not dead, his legs should be dead, pretty much. With how many times Happy ran him into the fence. That does not work, and therefore Iron Man gets the point here. So now we have the music. Now, Iron Man, the first one, has a pretty good score. Not great, but pretty good. I quite liked it. The dun. Yeah, I'm gonna do that for both movies. Well, actually, I can't because I don't remember Iron Man 2's score. But Iron Man 2 uses AC/DC, so. But so does Iron Man 1, so the AC/DC kind of just cancels itself out. And therefore, you're left with the good score of the first film. And so, I would say that Iron Man does it better here. And there you go. There's the final tally, 4-1. And the winner is Iron Man. Iron Man is the overall better film here. It has better story, better characters, better action, better, just about better everything except for the villain, just because Justin Hammer was such an entertaining character in Iron Man 2. But other than that, Iron Man is the better film here. I love Iron Man. It's an awesome movie. It gets a 93%. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Then we go to Iron Man 2, which for me gets a 64%. And it gets an alright for me. Sorry about this being a little rushed. I'll try to hopefully pad out the runtime a bit better. Get to explain more of my thoughts on each movie. But kind of wanted to keep it nice and quick here. So there you go, guys. There's my thoughts on both Iron Man and Iron Man 2 in simpler fashion. If you really want in-depth thoughts on these films, just go watch my reviews. I do have reviews for both of these movies. If you want to get proper in-depth with them, go to the reviews. There you go. And there's just more of a brief synopsis of my thoughts on both of these films. And as you can see, I much prefer the first Iron Man. Things overall better made, better directed, better handled by Marvel, and just overall better film, better arcs. The way it pays off, Endgame pays off, everything holds up much better. Iron Man. And yeah, that clip is done, so I'm just gonna go on for a little bit more here. Iron Man. Actually, no, I'm just gonna reverse and play this again almost so the behind thing can go away. But yeah, love Iron Man, really love it. Iron Man 2, alright sequel. It could have been worse. It's still watchable. It's still a very watchable film. It's a watchable film, but watchable does not make it good. It is not a. I would not go ahead and call Iron Man 2 a good movie. It's a fine movie. It's alright. You know, it's one of the weaker MCU films, but hey, if this is one of the weaker MCU films, then MCU is not doing so bad. So yeah, there you go, guys. Again, if you want deeper and more in-depth thoughts for both of these movies, go check out my reviews on my channel. I have an MCU review playlist. You can just go check them out there. I also have an Incredible Hulk review if you want to check that out. So yeah, I'm just gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please, you like you do, and help out a lot. I'm really trying to grow this channel. I'm really trying to find my footing here, and I hope you guys are more appreciative of this here. How is this thing 8 minutes long, but then I'm really recording for 7? Oh, I know. Okay, because I cut, yeah. So that makes sense. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I really do. I hope you guys enjoying, like this Versus series and like my MCU reviews or just reviews in general. I will be doing new stuff when it comes out. So the Snyder Cut that's coming out next week, I'll be reviewing that. I might do a week-to-week review basis for Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think that could be fun. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like you do and help out a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time on the next video. I do hopefully next MCU review, and that's probably what I'm going to do next. So yeah, bye guys.